So we're going to give you some tips and insights on how to position yourself for healthcare roles, and a discussion on how the healthcare job search process works, and also some of the trends that you need to know about, be aware of, to leverage your current position. And Theo, this question, we're going to start with you. Healthcare has seen a lot of change, particularly in relation to data analytics. Important for many, data security, as well as artificial intelligence. What are the big picture trends that you've seen over the last few years?
Yeah, good question, Lina. As you say, I think we see the evolution of the healthcare operating model more broadly, I think, and especially in this certain period, healthcare company must demonstrate distinct differentiation, scientific rigor, operational efficiency, and the consequence for candidates is that they also have to demonstrate the agility and ability to adapt to new organization, to a different culture, and we see more and more that the pivotal experience, the technical skills are not the only criteria on which we will assess candidates, and I'm sure the rest of the team will agree on that. But for sure, the leadership capabilities and the cultural fit will be critical. Are we considering an entrepreneurial mindset? Are we considering a more process-oriented organization? And so this has to be included in an overall, I think, reflection about how to develop the right capabilities and skill set to be considered by recruiters and by client as a strong candidate. From a just functional standpoint, yes, as you say, we are seeing an evolution towards data and digital. We see the evolution of the healthcare operating model toward a more predictive, toward a more personalized medicine. So roles such as head of digital, head of data are evolving, but I would say that digital and data has to be included in a more a broader digital mindset and appetite, meaning that when you are looking some transformation that companies are operating, for example, if you take the company like Roche, they are transforming their affiliate organization, and today someone who is working on a field position has to be strong not only in commercial, but could also adapt to medical roles, maybe to market access. So they need people who are more agile, who have a natural appetite in terms of omni-channel management, in terms of role around also patient engagement. So I think we need someone with a versatile background. As long as your background is versatile, I'm sure you will have the opportunity to be more attractive for clients.
Yeah, thank you for that. I took note of two things that you said, or two words that you used. Diversity, agility, maybe a third term, cultural fit. Gil, how does your view relate to that in terms of the trends? Do you see those same power words?
Yes, I think that what Theo said is correct. However, I see a little slightly different here on this side of the pond to some extent. Healthcare in general is changing dramatically. As a physician, I've seen it time and time again over the last couple of years, and since COVID, it's just been logarithmically changed. I think some of the trends that we're seeing, to Theo's point, is the influx of technology, and really it's becoming much more technologically based. So therefore, trends that I see growing is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity in the healthcare space is extremely important going forward. The legacy challenges and issues that healthcare institutions are having is amazing. I think the whole influx over the last couple of years, again with COVID, but actually occurring before then, of the emergence of public health, is just speeding forward. It's on just going lightning fast now, and will be in the future. And then just other trends that I'm seeing, a tremendous more effort on sustainability, supply chain. These are things that weren't really in conversations around healthcare in the past. We're not traditional conversations around healthcare, or somebody would say trends, but they're absolutely massive right now. You know, as we're moving from more of a provider-centric world into a patient-centric world, the whole digital aspect that Theo was mentioning around telemedicine is very, very important. We're also moving from an inpatient world to a at-home world. So all the ambulatory that connects in. I mean, it can go on and on. I think the unique thing about healthcare now is the dramatic changes in healthcare. It's almost like the Industrial Revolution. I mean, there's been an entire sea change of what healthcare means and what it'll mean in the future.
Incredible. I'm curious about the cybersecurity impact. Could you just speak a little bit more about?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's something that I think a lot of individuals may not want to talk too much about, especially attorneys and others that are dealing with that. But with the influx of IoT into healthcare, Internet of Things, there is a tremendous opportunity for individuals that are not looking to do good to enter into the healthcare situation, whether it's through data, whether it's through the physical machinery. You know, nowadays IV machines are connected to the internet. Everything's connected, and with some of the challenges that some hospitals have and medical centers in the past have had with legacy issues, and you know, not security is always top of mind, but there's a lot of holes. So I think that's something that really, as we move forward, we're going to have to watch more and more. Indeed.
Now, thank you for explaining and, you know, giving more insight around that. That's really incredible. Let's move on. So aside from the trends relating to digital disruption, Veronica, how have you seen the healthcare industry evolve and the demand for talent evolve, particularly since the pandemic?
Thank you. I mean, I would agree with Gil and Theo, because I think the technical skills and need for technical skills is changing dramatically. I would agree that there is a revolution among the healthcare and life science system. What I am seeing as well, there is after pandemic, there is a big demand of supply chain professionals. I think supply chain is something what the companies, at least the companies I'm talking to, they are always raising up. They're talking about supply chain problems with supply chain. And I think all this stuff, it's actually even worse after the pandemic. And of course, there is in terms of R&D, not talking to technology, of course, but R&D, there is a huge pressure, let's say, on a fast development, because the companies, they have to really adapt quickly. They have to bring life-saving innovations very fast. So I think there is lots of trends among the, of course, the technological skills. I would say supply chain, it's something what is very important for the companies, at least I'm seeing. In R&D, definitely the speed and the possibility of bringing new innovative medicines. What I'm also seeing, of course, what Theo said, there is a kind of change of capabilities, ability to adapt, flexibility. It's something what you can hear around the industry, at least how I see it. Resilience, definitely, agile, you know, those are the words which you usually, I'm actually talking about it with our customers.
Incredible. And you know, just going on, let's move on to positioning yourself, you know, for healthcare roles. I know the audience wants to hear about that. So Veronica, we'll just start with you in this endeavor. When you look to fill leadership roles in healthcare, are there other sectors that are an obvious fit and a place where you look, particularly given what you said about supply chain problems and R&D pressure and change in capabilities and being agile? When you're looking to fill those roles, where are the obvious fits that you might find these candidates?
I mean, supply chain is a problem around the world, I would say. So it's difficult. But generally saying, of course, there are inside the healthcare, life science, business, and biotech, there are roles which you have to find inside the industry, like connecting to medical, regulatory, I would say, market access. But of course, talking to, for example, experts in production, I think you can basically, or at least be going to food processing or chemical, which is close to the healthcare industry business. Talking to healthcare providers, hospitals, sometimes I'm actually going to retail because, for example, if you're talking to experts which are managing client satisfaction, as Gil said, patient satisfaction. So I think retail is really close by. So I would say generally, I usually look to FMCG, food processing, chemical, retail. Of course, in R&D, it's a bit tricky, but still chemical, food processing is something where we usually go.
I just wanted to add something to that. I think that Veronica was mentioning things around the patient journey. I think that many health systems are looking at other institutions. She mentioned retail and hospitality that can bring in and understand a patient journey or a customer journey, and which is very, very, the patient experience is extremely important now.
Incredible.
Yeah. And especially from an investment perspective, we see that more and more venture capital are building some activity around this patient journey you mentioned, Gil. This could be translated by investment in telemedicine, in diagnostic, in healthcare B2B services, in IT. That's definitely a trend that we are seeing.
Yeah. And one other thing I'd like to add is, and speaking definitely to what Gil just mentioned, chief digital officers in healthcare are certainly coming from more progressive industries, particularly those that are leading more of that consumer focus, patient engagement perspectives that you spoke of. Additionally, CISOs in healthcare systems, some of those are coming from highly regulated industries like banking and financial institutions as well.
And with the idea that there's an understanding, from one highly regulated industry, to the other. And while I have you, Tammy, could you expand a little more on the emerging roles within healthcare? Just a little more there.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So first I'll start with the chief digital officer. For one, that position is not going anywhere. Healthcare has deepened the thrust of their digital transformation, and these leaders are in very high demand. Secondly, I would say there'll be an increase in chief innovation officers, and these are the leaders that are responsible for, innovation across the enterprise. They're going to be accelerating research and development. They'll be managing venture capital funds, partnerships, patents, and even product development. So you're finding many health systems are starting to develop innovation centers that are very product centric. The patient experience officer is another role, and this one is purpose is really to engagement with the consumer as well as the family. As you know, right now, patient engagement and consumer-centric health is so important, and you're not only serving the patient, you're supporting the family as well. I would share the chief health informatics officer as an emerging role. This is the leader who sets the enterprise strategy for informatics. This is specifically with the focus on digital innovation, excuse me. Lastly, earlier, Gil mentioned sustainability, and sustainability should be on the top of everyone's mind, especially with ESG initiatives. It's an extremely hot topic right now. Even the American Hospital Association recently acknowledged that the chief sustainability officer is a role that's growing, and health systems are adding these roles, particularly for environmental stewardship. So that's going to be very important and one emerging role as well. And lastly, I would talk about the increase in hiring chief health equity officers. And this person will become a vital role as daily hospital operation leaders are focused on tracking and trending and improving disparities in healthcare. And while the pandemic advanced telehealth and other digital innovations, it's really going to be important to highlight the issues that we see with health equity and its impact, particularly on ethnic and racial minorities, those patients that are in rural communities, the elderly and the poor. And this role as for the Chief Health Equity Officer is going to be responsible for improving access to care and developing services to meet people where they are.
Wonderful, Tammy. Thank you. I'm very interested, Theo, in whether you're seeing some or all of those emerging roles across the pond.